Hello, Sagittarius. Okay, let's go with that one. Welcome to your May, soul session. I'm Princess India. If you're new, I'm trying not to drop all of these cards. I'm Princess India if you're new, and if you're family, welcome back, my friend. So we are going to get into you guys' cards. We're going to be looking at an overall energy as well as a challenge, and then we're getting into a more specific spread for you all. And I just picked the cards for that. So let's go ahead and hop in and see what's going on with Sagittarius for the month of May. Our overall energy for Sag is the Five of Pentacles in the reverse, and this is challenged by the Knight of Wands in the reverse. So what this is looking like, Sagittarius, I can say that that looks pretty good, is the fact that you guys are coming out of a cold, dag nabbit son of a gun. So if there's been any financial constraints or any lack of resources, feeling as if you guys have been kind of on the outs of things, or that things haven't necessarily been going in your favor. And I say that heavily on, the financial / resource / support side, that you guys are now coming into a time where things are really going to be looking up for you. However, with this Knight of Wands in the reverse, the key is really to not, and this really feels like what I've been feeling for everyone, is to not kind of fall into impulsivity here, or leap without looking, or getting kind of too overexcited in this situation. To give you an example of what this would look like, not saying that this is literally what's happening, but what this could look like is, say, for the last couple of months, you've been, doing really bad, like financially, right? Like money has been super duper tight. You've literally been lasting off of like $10 between paychecks type of deal, right? Now, suddenly money starts to pick up again, and it's like taking that money and going cuckoo bananas with it, right? Like blowing it, you know what I'm saying? Like the money, what is that saying? Like money burns a hole in your pocket or something like that. It's like that kind of vibe, because I feel there's a temptation here with that in the month of May, because I feel for a long time you guys haven't been able to feel good. And I'm hearing other things too, even when it comes to like overindulgence would be the term. So it's almost like for a long time, Sagittarius has had to like sacrifice and do without a lot. So, I mean, like, say if, money is tight, so you've been eating ramen every night, right? So as soon as money gets better, you're like going to Ruth Chris every day, you know what I'm saying? Or Morton Steakhouse or something, you know what I'm saying? Every night type of deal. It's kind of going from one side of the Likert scale to the other. And I feel like I've been saying that like for all signs, because I see this very clear, like didactic Likert scale kind of thing, where one goes from 0 to 100, but the whole key is balance. It's like the whole middle road is really what the key is here. So the main thing is, I feel Sag has gone without something for an extended period of time, and it doesn't have to just be finances. It could just be sensations, right? Like you haven't had sex in a long time, right? You haven't had a hug in a long time. You haven't had sugar in a long time. You know what I mean? You haven't, had a drink in a long time. And it feels very much like whenever this reprieve kind of comes, and you're able to do the thing you haven't been able to do in a long time, that you end up going like balls to the wall, head first into it. And that's really kind of what the forewarning is in reference to this. And 3 cards fell out. And it's action in the reverse, the door to romance, and broken heart. Oh my gosh, this just became a whole freaking thing, Sagittarius. That's what's clarifying this Knight of Wands in the reverse. So legit, it's like what this would be saying, if it's a financial thing, so more money comes in, it's like this is not the time to jump headfirst into something. It's like you really want to be in a state of in action right now. And I caught myself, I was about to say passivity. And I don't want to say that, because not saying you should be passive. I mean passive like in the energetic feminine state, meaning like being in full receptivity, right? So it's more or less when this reprieve comes, the key is to be in alignment, to remain calm, right? And not to act, because I feel the way that one would act would end up being very impulsive. Now, so the same, because this became a whole thing, so the same if this is speaking about a romantical relationship. So this would be saying, like, if you've been single for an extended period and all of a sudden here comes like Rico Suave, you know what I mean? This person who comes in super hot, sweeps you off your feet, is saying all of the right things. It's saying to stay grounded, because as I always say, you know, when someone sweeps you off your feet, you're no longer grounded. You know what I'm saying? So if like things are kind of moving like a whirlwind and moving too quickly, right? And I clearly see this in a romantical sense, especially if this is speaking about sleeping with someone, like you meet someone and this person is like seemingly ideal, best person for you type of deal. You want to make sure, like, if you see promise in this person, I'm just going to say it flat out. If you've been single for a while, you met a person, this person seems like the sweetest person since sliced bread. Like they're your ideal person. They're everything that you want. Please, God, for the love of America, don't sleep with this person, because I feel as quickly as this started is as quickly as it's going to end. And why I say this is like a whole, you know, intuitive thing that I'm getting. With this particular person, how I feel, sorry if I went cross-eyed there, but how I feel this would be is you meet this person and it feels almost like you guys are kindred spirits. And it's like, you know, like say if there's like certain rules, you know, like societal rules and stuff that people you know, follow with dating and stuff like that. Like, oh, don't ever oh my gosh, I'm about to get a cramp in my foot. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's not be Indian style for a second. I hate when I get cramps in my foot. Okay, sorry, y'all are gonna see my knee. Ow, 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 ow. Oh my gosh. I felt like I was about to get like a Charlie horse in my foot, and those are like the worst. But anyway, so it's like you meet like this person who seems like, you know, kindred spirit, all the things, and you have like societal standards, like, you know, don't sleep with a person on the first night type of thing. I feel like this would be the type of person, because how you would perceive the connection between the two of you, that if you sidestepped and slept with this person on the first night, that this person is so beyond that and so above it, right? And like so into the woo-woo things and connections and soulmates, blah, 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 that, you know, they wouldn't judge you for that. And I feel like they would, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like you'd kind of be devastated. So my thought with this is, with, you know, whether this is money or, you know, whatever, like whatever this is, also for people where this is a romantical type of thing, make sure that you do not go head first, balls to the wall with this. Like, calm yourself down. I understand you're excited, but take it a day at a time, right? Don't rush this. Don't move too fast. Don't allow yourself to get like swept off of your feet, even if you're sweeping yourself off of your feet. Like, don't get so caught up in the feels and the emotions and the excitement that, you know, you, oh my gosh, did my computer just do the thing? My computer totally just did the thing. Hold on. Hold on. Sagittarius. This is the second time this has happened. Okay, hold on. Wait. I gotta fix it. Oh my gosh, I think I'm frozen looking like a creepo. Don't you dare judge me. It would totally freeze on that face of like, meh, meh. Oh my God. Okay, hold on, Sag. Let me fix this. What is that? Move out of the way. Hold on, Sag. One second. What is going on? Spirit, bless me with a new computer. My computer don't like me. Oh, geez. Okay. Computer problems. Y'all, if y'all could just say a prayer for your friend Princess India that the universe blesses me with a new computer. You know what I'm saying? I would sincerely appreciate it. Go ahead and put some laptops in the chat. Put some laptops in the comments so we can touch and agree that I get a new computer. Okay, anyway, because I've already gotten this one fixed and it's doing the same thing and I just haven't had time to go back to the computer shop. But anyway, moving right along. So all in all, that's what I say with this. It's just, Sag has been in a deficit up to this point. There's something that you have gone without up until this particular time. And now there's going to be a reprieve from that. Things are going to shift, things are going to change, but you just want to make sure that you don't overindulge when this thing does shift and change, especially if this is talking about a romantic partner, right? Now, getting into you guys more specific spread, your central energy representing you all for the month of May. I don't know why I wanted to say February. We have the High Priestess. That is Pisces energy. Your past influence, we have the Ace of Swords here. I think there's like a delay with me showing, with me moving. Hopefully y'all can hear me clearly. All right, your hidden influence. Okay, that came out for Scorpio. We have the 8 of Wands. Forgive me if these aren't super clear because there is a delay. And your potential outcome is the 6 of Cuppies. And what to look out for moving forward. Oh, we have the star card, and that is Aquarius energy. That is freaking awesome. So what it is looking like, my beautiful Sagittarius, as it says, in the latter part of April, coming into May, with this Ace of Swords, you guys have had a mental breakthrough. The clarity has come. So much like I was saying in you guys' overall energy, it's looking like you guys were kind of in the same energy that the entire collective has been in. Because I was literally saying in my live stream that I did for the full moon that come, May 1st, it's almost like the fog that we've all been in is going to slowly start to dissipate. So I feel you guys have gotten some clarity. You guys had a breakthrough. You became very clear on what needs to be done, what you need to do, what needs to be cut out, what you want, what you're doing, all the things. Like mentally, you're thinking clearly. However, when we come to this High Priestess in our present, especially for those of you where this is speaking about a romantical type of thing, there is some element of like what it is that you're in and what is in the near future. There is some element of this that you guys don't know, right? Now, speaking for the romantical people, there could potentially be things about this person that you don't know. Not necessarily saying that they're horrible, terrible things or that they have a secret family or something like that. It's just the fact that there's a lot that you don't know in the decisions that you're making presently in reference to this person. Of course, it's on limited information, right? You don't have the whole picture because it's one of those things that, it's going to take time for you to get the full picture of, and not saying that ultimately the full picture would be bad. But what it's looking like to me, Sag, to put you guys in the collective narrative that's been playing out for everyone through the soul sessions, the whole month of May, all of us are having this experience where, we're facing the Judas in the mirror. We're seeing how it is that we have been our own worst enemy in different areas of our life. What this is looking like for me is that Sagittarius, like what you guys' pattern is of self-sabotage, if we were to call it that, is I feel it's this level of impulsivity of, taking action when one should be receiving information. You know what I mean? It's like acting too quickly, just, put the umbrella of impulsivity on it, or taking things for face value, not necessarily kind of getting the whole picture before you kind of jump on something. And that can also be in the realm of, like arguments with people, right? It could very well be that, you hear one side of the story and that one side of the story pisses you off and you act on that before you hear the whole story type of deal, to where when you get the other side of the story, you're like, oh, you know what I mean? Or, and this is an interesting thing that I just received, is like intermittent self-denial, right? Where, and that's an interesting way to see that. How, how I was talking about, like, it's something that you've gone without for a particular period of time. It's almost how this has been given to me, and this isn't for everyone. It's like almost like your perception on life, like how you get things done, is by denying yourself of things. So this, a good example of this, because I'm literally thinking about Coach D, who's on my staff over at She Do Society. And this is something she always says with a lot of our members that she's the trainer of, is that like when we go on like a diet or decide to like start working out and stuff, our first thought is like we need to deny ourselves of everything. It's like no more sugar, no more sweets, no more steaks, no more fast food, like all the things, right? So it's like we try to go cold turkey. And the thing that she always says is we have to go easy on ourselves, because if this is the first time that you're starting like a workout regimen, it's like you have to ease yourself into it. Because if you like go balls to the wall trying to cut everything out, you're going to end up self-sabotaging, right? Because you've been eating all this unhealthy stuff for years, and now suddenly there's none of that, and you're like eating broccoli chicken every day. You're eating freaking rice cakes for a snack, right? It's like you're gonna end up like losing your shit and like going to binge at a buffet or something like that. So she talks about like slowly integrating these things into your diet, as opposed to like this massive kind of shift. So the message I'm getting, not for everyone, but just for a group of you, it's like this intermittent self-denial, right? Where I think the logic behind it is thinking, I'm going to deny myself of all the good things until I achieve the thing. And then when I achieve the thing, then I'll allow myself to have those good things. But I feel that's actually acting as a block. And so the same for those of you where this is speaking about a relationship, it's almost like falling in like or falling in love with the idea of a person before you actually really get to know the person. Because what that pattern would be saying is there's a void in someone's life, right? And it's a desire to have that void filled. And the first thing that you find that looks like the thing that you're wanting, it's like you're grabbing that and you're like, no, 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 no. You're binging on it. You know what I'm saying? And when we do that in, romantical situations, we can inadvertently end up breaking our own heart, right? Because if we waited a little longer or got to know the person a little bit more, we could have seen like those, red flags start to show up, or the cracks in the mask start to form. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we end up kind of setting ourselves up to break our own heart. So the whole thing this is saying is at present, yes, things are shifting, but you don't have the entire story yet. So you don't want to jump head first. And I would even go to say, for those of you where this is something financial, right? If, money ends up coming in and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so dope. Let me go, buy a whole bunch of stuff, go get a massage, go buy shoes, clothes, whatever the case. So you end up spending this money, and then an unexpected expense ends up coming up, like something that you didn't expect. And now the money that you had is spent, right? And it could have, been put towards what this particular thing is, but now it's like you end up being back in the same situation you were in before. So all in all, Sag, what this is saying to me is that pattern of behavior has been the thing that's been the block that's been keeping you from what it is that you want. And I don't know, I feel like I want to go back to this romantical type thing, where like if we talk about the whole sleeping together thing, and I mean this may just be like me inadvertently putting my therapist hat on, because I've heard that narrative so many times with clients that I've worked with over the years, to where, it's like meeting, a dude who's like, he's not like that. He's not, he's not into playing games. You know what I mean? And he's like, I really liked you. And then I looked at the clock and it was 11:11 and I just knew, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, thinking that those typical dating rules don't apply, and like sleeping with a person too early. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the thought of, I feel these things. He's saying that he feels these things. He's acting as if he feels these things, right? So it's like those rules don't apply here because he's different. You know what I mean? He's more like me, right? And then it's like you end up doing that and then it doesn't work out. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel that has to be heavily stressed. And I feel the connection that needs to be made here. And I've said that to all of the other signs. There's an element of seeing what's happening. Well, not necessarily now, but what has transpired in the recent past. So, like, what you guys are coming out of, it's like that is a part of a bigger. It's like what it is that you're dealing with is you've been here before many times, and there's a level of self-honesty that's needed for one to see that pattern. And I mean, I could even say it like those of you who have the Wokebook, right? It's like in the very beginning of the Wokebook, before we talk about anything, before we get into anything, what is the first thing that I have you guys do? And I'm saying this as if you can answer me right now, but I mean, you can answer me in the chat. But I had you guys do a timeline, right? So it's looking at, your life over the course of the years that the Wokebook is speaking about, so that you can pick out your own pattern, so that you can then align the patterns you see in yourself with the collective patterns, right? So it's needing that level of self-honesty of seeing your pattern of how it is that you've been here before, so that you can come out of agreement with it, because that pattern is like, your I can't freaking talk, your antithesis or your proverbial Judas, right? Now, the hidden influence that you guys have, which is kind of funny, is this Eight of Wands, right? And with this Eight of Wands, I love it in this deck because I feel like this card is hella Sagittarius energy, right? You got a little archer guy. Like the whole thing is here with this card, it's all about swift forward movement, but it's needing to keep in mind that in order to move forward swiftly, and in order to hit your target or hit your bullseye, it's imperative for one to go backwards in order to go forwards, right? That's exactly what I'm talking about. This timeline, past pattern, seeing where have I been here before? How is this familiar, right? It's needing to get like, and that's the whole premise that the Wokebook is based on. It's going backwards in order to go forwards, right? Because, or like that quote that says, if you don't know your history, you're destined to repeat it. You know what I mean? That's kind of the vibe that we have here. But the thing I'm also seeing with this is the swift forward movement, right? It's Sag not having time for bullshit. Is the reason why I always be trying to make y'all readings a little quick, because I know y'all ain't be having time for things. It's like, get to the point, Princess India. You feel what I'm saying? So it's that always on the go, 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 wanting to get to the end of it, get to the point, like give me the bullet points, give me the cliff notes. It's that kind of energy that has you kind of not having time for the BS and kind of skirting over things. And I think it's important information and important data that you guys end up overlooking, being in that quickness. Now, granted, you guys are a fire sign. That is your nature. It's so the same for you, for Leo, and for Aries. You guys do not have time for long drawn out bullshit. I get it. However, right? When we're in our process of, and I can say this, a great example of it is the MBTI, the Myers-Briggs personality inventory, right? Most of you who are subscribed to me know what your MBTI type is, right? Like I'm an INFJ, right? So with knowing your MBTI type, a lot of people don't know that the purpose of Myers-Briggs is personal development. So just because like I'm an INFJ doesn't mean I'm just like, yeah, I'm an INFJ and I'm just going to stay here static for the rest of my life. No, the most important step after you know your MBTI type is to know your antithesis type, right? Which is the polar opposite of you. So for me, that would be what, an ESTP? Yeah. So an ESTP would be the polar opposite of me. So everything that I am, right, is everything the ESTP is not, right? But the whole purpose of my growth journey is for me to master my ESTP, because ESTP is in me, right? But they're my weaker functions. My stronger functions are an INFJ. You know what I'm saying? So I was actually telling the client that today, I was saying that like who I am at work or who I am like on YouTube is more in that, ESTP function. You know what I'm saying? Because it's me strengthening, and I would say more in like, that ES function really. But it's with me mastering like my extroversion, you know what I mean? And that's what the goal is for all of us. I could say the same thing about the 12 signs, right? Like you're a Sagittarius. You have that 9 times out of 10, your sun, moon, rising, or Venus. That's the reason why you're watching a Sagittarius read, unless you're one of my really cool subbies who just watch all of my readings because you feel like you learned something from all 12. And if you are one of those people, then you get the point that I'm about to make already, right? It's the fact that every single sign in the zodiac, we have that in our chart somewhere, whether it's in your Pluto or your Uranus, your Mars, right? If it's not in any of your planets, it's in one of your asteroids. You know what I'm saying? All 12 signs are in your chart somewhere. So in some facet, like you could watch all 12 signs of any reader and gain something because you have it in your chart anyway, right? So you could look at, the 12 signs of the zodiac and watching tarot as a way to personally grow, because it's like you may be stronger like in your Venus because you're more aware of it, your sun because you're more aware of it, your moon because you're more aware of it. But it's like your Pluto, you may never watch your Pluto sign. But, that's something that you can grow in and gain information in, or even looking at, your opposite sign. You know what I'm saying? So I say all of that to say, Sag, that even though it is in your nature to be on top of it and go, and not have time for things, you know what I'm saying? Like not have time for long drawn out bullshit. But sometimes it would behoove you, right? To have time for long drawn out bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I think every single Sagittarius that has been here for a while and sits through my long ass readings, right? This is one of those things that's behooving you, that's long drawn out. Not bullshit though. Long drawn out stuff and things. But anywho, but that's the hidden influence. And that's really where, like, even though this is the same spread I do every month for the soul sessions, because this month is very much about our inner saboteur, it's almost as if the hidden influence for every sign is really revealing everyone's inner saboteur, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? And I feel for you guys is wanting to hurry up and get to that end goal. Now, when we're looking at our potential outcome, we have the 6 of Cups here. And I feel like this is very much kind of like a forewarning in a sense, not like a super strong one. But why I feel this is coming up, because we're talking about the latter part of May here, it's with this impulsivity thing that we're coming into the month for. I feel like if one were to be impulsive and do the same thing that one often does in situations such as this, that it's not going to work out the way that you hoped, right? So it's like all of these 3 clarifiers. It's saying now is not the time to take action on this, right? Door to romance. I understand it looks really good. It's totally in alignment with you. However, if you end up impulsively acting on this, you will end up heartbroken, right? And even if we looked at this in the sense of this isn't necessarily going to pan out the way that you hoped, but it depends on how it is that you approach this particular thing. You know what I'm saying? In this 6 of Cups, we could end this month either looking back on this experience fondly, in the sense of, wow, that could have turned out really bad. Like I almost smashed that dude the first day, that we hung out, and this could have turned out really bad. Really glad I didn't do that, right? Or we could be looking back at this like, oh my gosh, why did I do that, right? Like, say hypothetically, if the person ghosts you, right? It's like, why did I do that? I knew I shouldn't have done that. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like you guys have been here before, right? And it's, of course, a free will thing. You have free choice. You don't have to listen to me, right? You can do whatever it is that you want to do. But the thing is, it's like you have to ask yourself, how do you want to end this month? Like, do you want to look back on the month of May and say, wow, I dodged a bullet, right? Or, things are still unfolding. We're still seeing where it is that this goes. Or do you want to be at the end of the month with a sense of regret of like, damn, I really wish I wouldn't have did that. I wish I would have waited. I wish I would have took some time, right? And not jumped headfirst into this. You feel what I'm saying? Now, the reason why I feel like all of this is super important is because in your what to look out for, we have the star card. So I feel what this is saying to you guys, Sag, an opportunity is on offer for you guys to be able to align with what it is you truly desire and truly want. Whether that's the relationship that you really want, the financial status you really want, the job that you really want, the life that you really want, what have you. But it's all up to you on whether or not you get there, right? So it's really being at a crossroads and you guys choosing whether you want your wishes fulfilled or not. Like that's simply what it is that we're looking at here, right? You don't have the full picture. The thing that's going to be on your side to do this month is the thing that goes completely counterintuitive to what you would naturally do in this situation, which is why I was bringing up the whole Myers-Briggs type of stuff, right? So like I was saying, between like my type, it's like my natural inclination is to be an introvert, right? Like that's my natural go-to thing, right? That's my baseline. But this month, I mean, I'm not a Sag, but let's pretend that I was. But this month is asking me to be an extrovert. That's the polar opposite of what I am. That's asking me to go completely against what my nature is, right? But it's within my capacity to do. Will it be comfortable? No. Will it be like second nature to me? Absolutely not. But I know that it's something that I'm capable of, and something that Sagittarius is most certainly capable of. You are capable of being patient. You are capable of tempering yourself a little bit. So is it uncomfortable? Absolutely. But is it doable? Absolutely. And if you guys want to be in alignment with what it is that you're truly desiring, because I feel like for a lot of you, it's funny. It's almost like Sag, y'all gonna get 2 love readings this month, because this love situation is very much all up in my face. And y'all know I do the connection sessions at the 15th of the month. So it's like y'all getting 2 love messages, But especially for those of you where this is a romantic partner, if what you truly want is your person, this is an opportunity to have your person, but it's contingent upon how you approach this situation. And I know it sounds hella crazy, but what this really feels like to me is like it's the whole sleeping with a person thing. And I know that sounds weird, because I mean, I'm even weirded out by this to where I feel like I need to sit down and process this, because I'm just like, because I've heard people say this. Like, I actually had a conversation with a coworker about this. Like, she was saying that one of her guy friends was saying that when a guy, really likes you, that it doesn't matter when you sleep with him, whether it's the first day or a year after you guys meet each other. If he wants to be with you, he just wants to be with you. And I was like, wow, I have a guy best friend. And I was like, he told me the polar opposite. Like, he was saying that, like, he could meet a chick who he feels is absolutely perfect, but if she sleeps with him too soon, it's like everything that he thought she was, she's suddenly not that anymore, because it's the nagging suspicion he has of like, that's all it takes to, like, I put her on a pedestal and all I did was like say hi, get her some hot wings and a shot of whiskey, and she was willing to sleep with me. So it's just like, how many dudes did she do that with? Like, so he says it makes him feel less special. You know what I'm saying? And those are two different camps. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the right answer is because I'm not a boy. You know what I'm saying? But it's like looking at it from that perspective, it's like what it is that I'm seeing here falls more in the camp of, you know, what my bestie said. And I'm not saying that that's right to think that way or to be that way. That's just his opinion. You know what I'm saying? And so the same with my coworker's friend. But what I'm seeing in the cards is like this particular person would be someone where there is the potential for the two of you, especially with the star card being here. But it's like if this were to move too fast or you guys were to sleep with each other too fast, it's like that just kind of like, you know, shoots the situation in the good foot. You know what I'm saying? So it's just be cautious with that, you know, Sag, because I mean, you know, humans are different. People be peopling, you know? So whatever this is, whether it's a romantical situation, it's finances, you know, whatever, just make sure you temper yourself and don't, you know, jump head first and go balls to the wall with this. It's like you're gonna have to, you know, take some time and go through this over time as opposed to jumping in head first. So I hope and pray that that makes sense, Sagittarius. That has been your soul session for the month of May. What is going on with my child? My equipment is just doing things. I think Mercury retrograde want to get me like one good time before it's out of here. But anyway, I love your freaking face, Sagittarius, and I will see you guys